Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel DS Tech Mirror. Topic for today's video is how to access SharePoint Online REST API using Postman. I will begin with the introduction of the Postman. What is Postman? Postman is an interactive and automatic tool for verifying the APIs of your project. In today's video, we will consider SharePoint REST APIs. It is a Google Chrome app for interacting with HTTP API. It is most commonly used for API testing. So it is a very useful tool. Let's say you are working on a project and you are working with REST API. So what you can do, you can easily test your REST API with Postman. You can check the response, you can check the header easily, and once your API is working in Postman, then you can directly use into your project. It will help you to test your API very easily, its response, its end result. So it's a very useful tool for SharePoint development projects and other projects as well. Let's start with the Postman. This is my Postman tool. You can download it. You can find the link in the description box below how you can download the Postman. So before working with the Postman, what I can do, Postman allow me to create a collection. Now there are certain advantages of creating a collection in Postman. If you create a collection in Postman, then you can keep all the related APIs related to a project or maybe similar APIs together in one collection. Then it is easy to, you can easily find your REST API. Another important thing is, if you have created a collection, let's say related to a project, you have created all the REST API and you want to share with your teammate, it is very easy to share it. You have to just export your collection and you can share it with over email or through any other tool. So these two are very important advantages of creating a collection. So we will start how we can create a collection in Postman and then how we can keep all the REST APIs together. So over here, in the left, you can see I have a link, new collection. I will create on it. I will name it as test Postman with SharePoint Online. I'll say SP Online and I will create. So now my collection is ready. Now I will test the REST API. I will go with a very simple API of how to get a list item from a SharePoint list. So I'll say create a request. So now what I will do, I will REST API with me, get list item. I will simply copy it. Now you might be thinking that I have this interface for testing the REST API. I should be able to do it. So let's see. I'm trying to test an API and let's see what all issues I will face while working with a Postman initially. So this is my REST API. Over here you can see my SharePoint site is open with me. It is DS Tech Mirror tutorial. And over here I have created a simple list with just simple one column, that is the title column. There are no other columns in this list and I have one entry called entry 1. So I will copy the name of the list, display name which is Postman, list name is also Postman. Over here you can see the REST API. This is my site name till here. After that you can see underscore API /web/list. I am getting all the list. After that, get by title. So my list title is Postman and I am saying I want all the items present in that list. After that, there are few headers which I want to supply over here. First is accept. Value will be application/JSON and OData is equal to verbose. Then I have content type, the same content type, application/JSON OData is equal to verbose. And now what I will do, I will save my REST API. I will press Ctrl S and over here it is asking me for the collection. I can save this REST API inside a collection. So what I will do, I will search for my collection. At the bottom it is test and I can say test Postman with SP Online. And now save to test Postman with SP Online. I will click on this button and I can see my REST API got saved inside this collection. So this is one thing. Now what I will do, I will click on send button and I'm getting bad response, that is 400 bad request. Over here I can see this is something related with the content type. Now before proceeding with the Postman, let me show you what result I will get if I hit this URL in the browser. So this is my browser. I will open a new tab and I'm getting the result. So you can see over here I'm getting all the list item. So for me, my REST API is working. Now I will copy the same REST API in my Postman. Over here I will control A, control V, and now I will hit. So over here I am getting the status as 403 forbidden, that is access denied. You do not have permission to perform this action. So what is the issue I am facing is my Postman is my third party API. It is trying to interact with the SharePoint Online, and SharePoint Online is not allowing Postman to access its item, which is fair enough. Because of the security issues, because of the security concern, Postman is not authenticated. Postman is not authorized to get data from the SharePoint Online. So to get data, to establish the connection between Postman and SharePoint Online, we have to set up the authentication between these two different parties. Once the authentication is established between them, then they will be able to interact with each other. To establish the authentication, what we have to do, we have to register this Postman for the authentication purpose. To get data from the SharePoint Online, Postman must have the access token. With the help of access token only, Postman will be able to interact with SharePoint Online. And you know that in SharePoint Online, for the authentication we have OAuth2. With the help of OAuth2, SharePoint Online authentication works. So let's see how we will be able to establish the authentication between SharePoint Online and Postman. So for the Postman authentication, for that what I have to do, first of all I have to register an app. To register an app, what I have to do, in my earlier videos I have shown you many times. In my earlier videos I have already demoed how you can register an app in SharePoint Online. So for that what I have to do, this is my site collection with which I want to interact. I'll say underscore layouts /15/app app register reg new.aspx. App register new is the URL. Okay, I do not have access to it, so let me first get the access to this particular URL. So now I've got the access to that particular page, app register new. So I will try to navigate to that page again, app regnew.aspx. So over here I can register an app. So what I will do, I will generate a client ID. This is my client ID. This is my client secret. I will name the title as Postman. App domain will be, again I will keep it as Postman, and redirect URL I will keep this particular site only. I can keep as the local host also. So in this case I will keep dstechmirror tutorial only. So dstechmirror-tutorial. So these are the entries which I have to make. First, client ID I have to generate it, client secret again I have to generate it, and title, app domain and redirect I have to fill in these values. So now I will click on create. It will register an app with Postman title inside my SharePoint Online. Now I have to keep this client ID and client secret with me very carefully. I will be needing these both in my future setup. So what I will do in this slide only, let me simply create a new slide and I will keep all the useful things over here. So this is my client ID and client secret. Okay, done. Next, moving forward, what I will do, I have to navigate to app principal page now, that is appinv.aspx. So please remember this particular URL. This is appinv page. Over here I will give an permission to my app. So before this I have registered my app with SharePoint Online. Now I will give permission to that particular app. So in my case I will give full control permission to my app, Postman app, which I just now registered. You can give other permissions as well. So I have to enter the client ID over here. So this is my client ID. I will enter the client ID. I'll say lookup. So it will fetch all the related information to my app which is registered inside SharePoint Online. So you can say title, app domain and redirect URL. In this box I have to give app permission request. So I will give full control permission. For that we have a small XML code. So I will enter this inside this box. This is multiple line text. So over here you can see what I am doing. App permission request, allow app only policy true. App permission request scope is SharePoint, content, site collection, web and full control. And then I will close the app permission request. app permission request. So now I have granted the permission, full control permission over the site collection content to my app. So now let me just format my code a little bit. It's a very small piece of code, and let me click on create. So now in this step, I have given full control permission to my app. I'm getting a pop-up. Do you trust it? So I said yes, I trust it, and this is done. So now I have registered an app in my SharePoint Online Tech mirror tutorial site collection with full control permission over the content, and I can check it. For that, what you can do under site collection administration, just check for site collection app permission link, click on it, site collection app permission, and over here you can see this app. So you can see this app identifier, and it's very important. So this is my client id till before @ this is my client id. You can even verify it. We have copied it. You can see D82D. So this is my client id, and after that I have this tenant id. This is my tenant id, and I will be requiring it in my further in my next step. So I will be using it. So let me copy it. Let me copy this entire app identifier. From this I will get the tenant id. So let me just paste it. I will paste it on a separate step. Okay, so this is my tenant id. So let's see if I can set the font color just to make it more readable. Yes, and let me just increase this width. So this is my tenant id. Guys, please remember, after the @ I have the tenant id, and before app identifier I have the client id. Okay, so we are done with this. Now we have to get the access token. We will see how we can get the access token. So let me go to my third slide. This is Postman Authentication. This is the first step. Register an app with SharePoint Online using client ID and client secret. So this is done. This is the code. Now get access token for Postman Authentication with SharePoint Online using below REST API. So this is the REST API URL. I will use this to get the access token, and this access token we will use for other REST API URLs. So how to get the access token? Let me enter this, create a new request. So this you can see REST API to get the item from SharePoint Online will still not work. See, still forbidden. So let me get the access token for this REST API to work. So I'll go to the Launchpad tab, create a request. It's a GET request, and this is my URL: https accounts.accesscontrol.windows.net. Over here I have to enter the tenant id /token/o2. So let me enter the tenant id now. Guys, I told you I have already copied the tenant id. So this is my tenant id. So let me just copy it, and please take care of the trailing spaces and make sure there is no space in your tenant id. So this is my tenant id. So I've entered the tenant id. After the tenant id, I will save this REST API in the same collection. My collection is test postman with SharePoint Online, and request name will be get access token. So you can see how useful is to create collection in Postman. We can easily organize our REST API. This is to get access token, and I will format the another one also. Let me quickly do it. So for this I want to name it as, I have to see from, I think over here I can name it. Yes, and I think its name will be get list item. See, get access token, get list item. So we are working with the access token. Now I will simply add the headers. Headers will be same content type except, so I will copy it from here only. So over here, to copy the header, it is very easy. Just go to header tab, and on the right side you can see bulk edit. Click on this bulk edit and you will get this tab. I will copy it. I will go to the get access token, again bulk edit, but with the header tab. I want to edit the headers, bulk edit, and simply paste it. Now again you can click on key value edit, and you can see my headers are ready. My token is ready, my headers is ready. Let's see in the PPT if there is anything else. Yes, so I have to enter few values in the body tab. So I will come to the body tab, and this time it will be form data. I will select the form data and I will enter few types. First will be grant type. Let me see if I'll get some intelligence. Okay, no. So I'll say grant type. After grant type, I have client ID. I have client underscore ID. After that, I have client underscore secret. So guys, this is very important step. And then I have resource. So guys, I will explain you all these entries. See, grant type will be client underscore credentials. This is simply hard code. You just type client underscore credentials. Okay. Next will be client ID. Client ID we have to enter in the format client ID at tenant ID, which is this entry. So we have already copied. So let me copy it and now I will paste it over here. I will make sure of the spaces at the end and in the beginning. There is no space. So client ID is done. Client secret, guys, I've already copied. This is my client secret. And last one will be the resource. Resource also I have to enter in a particular format. So format for the resource is resource/site domain at tenant ID. So this is my resource. Okay. And value of resource will always be the same. This is the value of the resource. So I will copy the resource over here. So this is my resource. Then slash, this is my resource and it will always remain the same. Guys, you can note it from here if you want the resource value, if you are trying it at your end. Then site domain. Site domain will be, I will enter my site domain, that is my tenant domain. And then will be, and if you are confused with the site domain, it will be after HTTPS and before sites. So this part will be your site domain. Okay. Then after site domain, it is in the format resource/site domain at tenant ID. So I'll go site domain. Let me go to the bulk edit because it is easy to work over here. At, and then I want the tenant ID. Tenant ID is the same. I will copy it from my client ID because after @ I told you is the tenant ID. So these entries are complete and I'll go to key value edit. So you can see grant type, client credential, client ID is this, client secret is this, and resource. I will save it and let me try. If we'll get some error, we will fix it. Otherwise, in return, we should get the access token. And it's a bad request. So we are getting some error. The request body must contain the following parameter grant underscore type. Okay, so I have typed over here grant and hyphen. It should be grant underscore type. Okay, now save. I'll send it again. Again a bad request. I'm getting, I think it is related to my tenant. Okay, so I will remove this parenthesis from here, this quotes, control save and send. And you can see status 200. Okay. Before going forward, I will come to my PPT and I will explain you. For the Postman authentication, register an app over here using app register new, app new.aspx. Okay. After that, for permission, you should go to appinv.aspx. After that, in the Postman, this is my URL, and over here there will be no codes. Just enter your tenant ID. From where you will get the tenant ID, just go to site collection app permission in your site settings, and over here for the particular app, let's say if you have registered your app with the name test, then search your app with name test, and over here there will be a complete identifier. After @ will be your tenant ID. These are the headers, content type, then body, grant type. These 4 values are very important. One is the grant type, client ID, client secret, and resource. Grant underscore type value will be client underscore credentials. Client underscore ID will be client ID at tenant ID. Same. I'll type. Okay, over here I will type same as it is under site collection app permission. Okay. So over here you can see client secret, you can get it, and resource will be in the format resource/site domain at tenant ID. So these value once you will enter, you will get this access token. And guys, this is the most important value. Now your Postman is authenticated to interact with DS TechMirror site collection. using this access token. We were looking for this particular access token. Now we have got the access token. Now what I will do, I will use this access token. So this is the access token, and just for your information again, this was the REST API which we used, accounts.accesscontrol.windows.net, tenant ID token/o2. So you can note it down. It is very well in my API. You can note all the information from here. Just using this, you will be easily able to establish connection between your Postman and your SharePoint Online tenant. So now we will go forward and we will test other REST API, that is, we will see if we are able to get the list item now. So I will copy this access token. I will go to the header section, key value edit, and over here I have to enter another header, that is authorization. For the authorization, value will be, this is very important guys, bearer, bearer. Now please make sure to enter in a space after bearer and then copy paste the access token. Please do remember to make a space between bearer and your access token. I'll go to bulk edit and you can see this is how it should look. Content type, accept and authorization. And now let me click on it again, send, and you can see status 200. The moment I enter this access token, I am able to get all the list items. You can see I'm getting all the list items. There is only single list item over here in my list. It was like entry 1. So I will show you where I am getting that. Let me expand it. So I am getting content type, all this thing in JSON format I am getting. So over here you can see ID 1, and if you want I can search from here and you can see title entry 1 over here in this ID 1. Content type, ID, title, modified, all these metadata properties, everything will come in this. Let me show you what I will do. I will make one more entry over here. This time let me go to my app. My app name is Postman. I will make one more entry, and this time it will be entry 2. I will show you whether I will get it. Save, and now let me simply go to Postman and send the request again. This time I should get 2 entries. Inside D, results, content type. After this, at the bottom I am getting this ID 1, entry 1, and after that again at the bottom I can say ID 2, entry 2. So my get request is working absolutely fine. Now moving on to next, I will see how I can create a list item with the help of Postman. So again go to the launchpad, create a request. I'll say I will enter the URL to create a request in the same list. So to create the item, I have to change the header. I have to change this method of my REST API. Earlier it was a get request, now it should be a post request because we are posting something in my SharePoint Online. So I will take this REST API URL because I have to, this time I have to create an item. The URL will remain the same, it's just the type is got changed. Now type is the post, this time it's a post request. So you can see the underscore API list get by title / items. Now headers also will remain the same. I will copy the header as it is, and I told you to copy the header, simply go to the header tab, bulk edit, and simply copy everything. And I can close this get access token because it creates some confusion over here. I will come to this bulk edit and I will simply paste it. I will click and simply paste it, control save, and request name I will say create list item. Create list item in the same collection. This is also done. Now I will let me check my headers again. Let me just scroll up and key value edit. So I've got everything. Now I want to create a list item, so I have to supply the values. I have to supply the column values. This one single column over here, it is title. I have to supply the title value, and that I will do under body tab. For that I will select this raw data, not row, table row, it's the raw data. Redo button I will select, and over here I will supply the values for that. This is a particular format in which I have to supply I will just paste it over here and then I will explain you. So this is the format which we have to supply for under the body tab. This is under this parenthesis underscore underscore metadata. Remember, this is double underscore. Type we have to provide sp.data dot list title list item. List title I have to change with my list title. So my list title is Postman. So I'll say Postman list item, and over here I will say title. This is it, title column. I will give the value entry through Postman. Entry using Postman. I will save it. I will save the value and I will send the request. Let's see. And it's a bad request. Again, we will see what is the error. A type named sp.data.postman list item could not be resolved by the model. Okay. So there's some error over here. We will see what is the error. So over here we are getting this value, a type name sp.data.postman list item could not be resolved by the model. So there's some problem with this. Over here you can see I told you over here we have to enter a list name. So let me go back. My list name is, let me go back. I will go to the browser. My list name is Postman. But if you notice carefully, my internal name, there was a typo because of which there's a wrong internal name and I have to use it. There's a difference between the internal name and the display name. So Postman, this is Post-aman. So this is a mistake which I did. So because of which over here, just remember we have to enter the internal name of the list and not the display name, that is the title. So let me change this over here. So this was the mistake. Okay, so this is also done now, and it should create an entry with name entry using Postman. Let me send it, and you can see status 201 created. Let me refresh it, and you can see entry using Postman. If I enter again, and I can see multiple. I should see multiple entries over here. See, entry using Postman, entry using Postman. So our create request is working perfectly fine. So we are done with the get, create, and I will do one more request. Although I think now you know how you can authenticate. Now you can test your APIs with SharePoint Online using Postman. It just I want to give a sample for each create, update, that is create, read, update, and delete. So create and read is fine. Now before using the update one, I will let me create for the delete request. So I'll use the same. It just I have to modify this API REST URL. So in this, what I have to do, /item/get by ID. So I have to supply the ID which particular item I want to delete. For that I should know the ID of these entries. For that I will modify my view and I will include the ID also. So edit current view, and I will say I want the ID. I will get the ID, and now I want to delete the last item. So I will supply the ID 6. So ID is fine. After that, again type of the request will be delete. This is important. Header will be more or less will remain the same. So ideally these three headers I required in almost all the requests, that is authorization, content type, and the another one, that is my let me paste it, comment key value. So these three headers are required in almost all the requests: content type, accept, and authorization. I will name it as delete list item and save this. So delete is also fine. And now let me try. Let's see if we get any error. For that I think I have to rename it. Let me first rename it delete list item request name. I don't know where I have update that delete list item. So let me just send it, and I am getting access denied. So this is strange. I should not get access denied. Let me see, because okay, because of this headers I have pasted at the wrong place, I'm getting the error. Okay, bulk edit, paste, header is fine. Okay, my bad. I am pasting it under the parameter tab. I will go to the header tab, bulk edit, and then I will paste it. Yes, now it should be fine. Now key value edit. Now let's see whether this will work or not. So we are trying to delete an item with ID 6 and we are getting request e tag value does not match. So we have to supply the e tag. We have to supply one more header, that is if match. I'll say star, and now let me send it again and I got 200. So this item must be deleted in my list. So please remember to use if match and just supply the star, and it got deleted. So guys, we are also done with this delete list item, and the last one which I will create over here is to update a list item. So let me close this delete one, get, and let me first save this. I will name it as update list item. Same collection, test Postman with SP Online, save. I will enter the URL. I will have to modify it a bit till items we are getting. It will again be a post request, and I'll say I have to supply the ID. I will update this one with ID 4, entry using Postman. So get by ID, and ID will be 4. Now ID is also done. I have to supply few more headers. Headers I told you more or less these 3 headers I need. So at least these 3 headers, let me copy it, and this time I will carefully paste it under. Headers tab. So this is done. I will come to key value edit, and now again I have to supply the updated value. I will be updating the title column. So again I will go to this body tab, and in this under I will select this raw option, and over here again let me copy this body, let me copy this metadata, and I will paste it as it is. Entry using Postman updated successfully. Okay, this will be my updated value, and again because we are updating a particular ID, I have to supply the if match also. So if match is star. Now let's see. I will click on send, and I got this 400 byte request because this metadata does not exist in method get by ID. Okay, this value I will enter one more header. It will be x HTTP method. I should get the intelligence. I just want to use this x. Okay, I'm not getting x HTTP method value will be merge. Let me save and try again if this will fix the issue, and I got 200 for no content because it updates the list item, but in return it will not get anything. So let's go to the browser, and you can see enter using Postman updated successfully. Let's try to do the same with this item ID 5. I'll change 5, save, send, and I will come here. So you can see I'm not refreshing my machine, I'm not refreshing my browser, but I think it will update on its own. You can see entry using Postman updated successfully. So this is how we perform all the REST APIs. Quickly I will make a quick revision. So this was the simple API, get request, I'll say underscore API web list, get by title, and items header. These 3 headers are common: content type, accept, and authorization. For creating the list item, we have to supply the body, and the body we have to supply the values. This is important: type sp.data. Your list internal name, list item, and the title. Rest headers remain the same. For the delete create item, for the delete one, again we have to supply one more header if match. For the update, 2 more header if match and HTTP method along with this body. So guys, this is how you can use Postman to test your REST API, to test the response using Postman. In this video, this all we have covered how you will authenticate your Postman using app registration. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you like this video, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel to get the notification for our upcoming videos. You can reach out to us using our official email ID contactdstechmirror@gmail.com. I have created a group over Facebook. You can join that group with the name Modern SharePoint and we can collaborate over there. To get all the updates from the Office 365 world, you can follow me on Twitter. This is my Twitter handle. Much love. Keep learning. Thank you.